Welcome to the Shadow Signal, the frequency of the unknown. I'm Josh Rutledge.
And I'm Stefan Gearhart. Together we dive deep into high strangeness, UFOs, cryptids, the paranormal, psychic phenomenon, and the hidden truths that echo just beneath the surface.
Somewhere between reality and myth lies the signal. Can you hear it?
Tune in. The Shadow Signal is live. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another fantastic and frightening episode of the Shadow Signal podcast. Woo! Spooky! Here on Another Realm Media Network, we are excited. I am your host, Stefan Gearhart, and I am joined, as always, by the magnificently spooky Josh Rutledge.
I'm gonna do my best attempt at a Shaggy impersonation. Are you ready? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Hey, Scoob. No, that came off more goofy. That's more goofy. I'm sorry.
That was more goofy. It goes like wow, Scoob.
Yeah. If Goofy and Scoob were on a crossover episode. No,
Very nice.
It's Halloween month, man.
This is my favorite time of year. Like not for the weather because I don't like it when it starts getting cold, but I love spooky season. I love horror movies. I love haunted houses. I love the paranormal, all that stuff. And the veil is thin.
It is thin. I mean, there's some stuff happening. I mean, I don't know. I like for me, it seems like it happens all year round. So I don't know that the veil being thin makes any difference, but um, it's just really interesting. I was doing a lot of research the other day about why the veil thinning in this time of year is probably a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking about how, like, when you think about even let's say in June, let's say middle of summer, if it's dark, you see movement in your periphery, right? You see movement in the corner of your vision. Um, and so because we're starting the time of year where it gets dark earlier, is there something about our eyes where the phenomena is more apparent when, you're not looking straight at it?
I don't know.
And so, it's kind
Interesting.
of like, what's that? There's like a Vin Diesel movie where he lands on an alien planet and
Pitch
there's all
black.
these, yeah, like, the three moons, like, create a,
Mm-hmm.
ongoing eclipse situation and all these
Yeah,
alien guys come out. Yeah.
it's a good
Maybe there's some
movie.
truth to that.
Yep. Trying to think what the sequel's called. I can't remember. Riddick.
Oh, there's Chronicles of Riddick. There's
Yep.
Riddick. I think there's actually one more.
No, I think it's just three because Pitch Black's the first one.
Yeah. I don't know. They're all pretty good.
Yep,
So,
they are pretty good.
anywho, um, so
So
yeah,
you had some interesting things happening this past weekend. If you
yeah,
wanted to share a little bit about that.
I presented at Phoenix MUFON here in Phoenix, Arizona, and I presented on my theories around kind of how the phenomena is related. Which if you've been a listener for a while, you may recall that we went through a short period of time where the podcast was called the Convergence Enigma,
Mm-hmm.
and that was kind of the intention behind that rebrand. But we did, I don't think we really quite figured out how to present it in podcast form, but
Right.
it made for a much better presentation form. So the title of the presentation is actually the Convergence Enigma, and I laid some stuff out. It was a really good presentation. I got nervous and I ran through my slides really fast. Like it only took me about an hour or maybe 50 minutes to go through all of
Mm-hmm.
my slides, but it worked out because we had almost 60 minutes of Q&A, and it was like an "Oh Captain, my Captain" moment where like people were shouting out questions and I was pointing to people, and it was a fantastic interaction, exchange of energy. We actually did like 15 minutes of questions, broke for an intermission, and 90% of the audience came back to
Wow.
continue the Q&A session for like another 40 minutes or so.
Cool. Any particular questions stand out to you that were interesting?
Um,
Since
because
I
I
couldn't be
talked,
there.
yeah, what's that?
I said since I wasn't able to
Oh
be
yeah.
there, I'm curious.
Um, Well, I mean, so my family was able to come, wife and kids were able to come and support me during the first half before the intermission. And my daughter Layla asked a question, "What is a humanoid?" Because I had mentioned humanoids. I got to explain that question, which that means that she was listening.
Yeah.
Which is, I guess all I can ask from an 11-year-old. So,
Right.
um, there was some questions around. One person asked if I thought that people who meditate all the time could become like beacons for the phenomena, and I said yes. And I used the way our good friend Deb Sakti, the way she describes it is like, it's always happening all the time, all around you. You're just not tuned in to see it.
Yeah.
But like putting the attention towards like your meditation practice and growing your spiritual side, your mental side can actually cause you to tune in to see the phenomena. So it's not so much that the experiences increase; it's more that you're more tuned in to be able to see more of it. So um, there was a lot of good discussion because in my theory, I do incorporate ley lines in a lot of the presentation. And there was a lot of great discussion around, the origin of ley lines, why the people who created the ley lines picked, the starting points that they did. So, for example, one of the star points is Stonehenge in the UK. And it's really just because these kind of sacred geometry type sites exist around the world. We don't really understand, I think, why our ancestors built these sites in these specific locations. And so the origin of ley lines assumes that there is some, significance to the location they picked that we're
Right.
just not aware of. And so based on that, that's the starting point then for all these ley lines that kind of stretch around the planet.
Very
So,
cool.
yeah, and I talked briefly about my idea that ley lines, I think, extend, throughout the universe, and that
Much like that Star
sometimes,
Trek episode.
yep, and sometimes our planet just intersects or interacts with one of those ley lines at different parts of the year. And so activity increases or decreases depending on if we're intersecting. So maybe, in October when the veil is thin, it's because we're intersecting with a universal ley line during that time.
Hmm. Yeah, I wonder because yeah, you wonder uh is the veil only thin in the northern hemisphere or also the southern hemisphere? Like is that
Yeah.
because since it's summer down there or spring, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know that it's necessarily, yeah, maybe. I don't know. I mean, does it matter based on the tilt of the earth, the rotation
Right.
of the earth, like all of
Hmm.
that stuff? And like I said, what you typically associate with the veil being thin is an increase in spiritual or paranormal or type activity, right? An increase in spirits or ghosts, an increase in poltergeist activity, Bigfoot, whatever the case may be. But for me at least, my activity does not fall off, and it doesn't necessarily increase during this time of the year.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to research and see if that changes, like for those that live on the equator. You know.
Well, what I was going to say is for me, like I said, for me, it doesn't fall off, it doesn't increase, and I live about a mile from a ley line.
Hmm.
So again, makes me wonder if like it's really just a matter of proximity to these ley lines or things. So I don't know. It's very interesting.
Oh,
Speaking on the only thing that I have really for uh, interrupted transmissions is not enough to do the whole segment. So I'll
yeah,
just
I don't have anything.
so I'll just mention it here. Last night I was working in my office right here at this computer, working on some stuff. And I had my feet kind of crossed in front of me underneath my desk, and a bread twist tie. Like I felt something fall against my toes. And I looked down and there was like a straightened out bread twist tie laying on the rug that's underneath my feet. And why that's significant is our cat that recently passed, that was his favorite toy,
No.
was bread twist ties. He would bat them around and chase them around the house. And so it's like he was bringing me, his bread twist tie for me to
Yeah.
for me to have. I mean, it was like the investigator in me looked all around to see if I could figure out where this may have come from or how would have, you know, of all, like I sit here probably 10 hours a day because my work computer is right here to my left. And so, how all this, and then that in that exact moment, it decided to appear, and I couldn't really come up with anything. So it's the only thing I'm left with is my cat, Kitty Whiskers, brought it to me. So,
Yep, I totally believe that. So, well,
so
cool, man.
yeah.
I think that's pretty neat. Well, let's get moving on and let's get into our psychic word of the week.
And now, the psychic word of the week.
All right, so psychic word of the week is brought to you by the oh boy, I've almost forgotten.
You almost
By
forgot.
the
Oh
Encyclopedic
no, maybe.
Psychic Dictionary, written by June G. Blitzer, PhD. Rest in peace, Honey Bear. I love you, even though I never knew you. So instead of flipping through like we used to in those, I kind of look around until I find something interesting. And I found some terminology here that says confused soul minds.
Mm,
Confused soul minds. And I thought this would be interesting given the veil being thin and
yeah.
Halloween and things like that. So here's what it has: a very long definition for the first definition. It says a deceased human being who is earthbound, floating aimlessly among earthlings and needing understanding and help, responsible for some hauntings, can be perceived clairvoyantly or clairaudiently as an apparition and a nuisance. Confused because A, their earth beliefs emphasized one life only, which I think that's very interesting. B, their earthly teachings presented a different appearing etheric world. C, they do not realize that they are dead. D, they are so embedded by materialistic desires that they cannot let them go and hover close to earthlings to recapture the memory of those desires. E, they can see earth activities and do not realize earthlings cannot see them. That's
Mm.
why they're confused. F, they are absorbed with a traumatic experience of death that causes them to search for answers to its cause or the desires to let earthlings know more about this event. Or G, mourners in earth keep them bound by constant thoughts about them and will not release their image or emotional memories. The second definition is earthbound entities can be released by psychics so that they can begin the learning process in the etheric world and be happy. And then the third just simply says one form of a ghost.
So it's very, very interesting that you picked that particular selection. So first of all, I think there is a H in that. That may not be in the book, but there's an H
Right.
there. And the H is, and I'm going to give you an explanation as to why I think there's an H. But the H is that it's a traumatic death, and in the clarity of the release from the body, there is a want to make up for, life transgressions. And I'll give you a direct example. So my barber, who does great work, if does great work. He was telling me that his wife believes that she's being visited by her dad that died just a couple of years ago. Well, her dad was a lifetime addict, and actually OD'd, and that's how he died.
Mm.
And but like right before he died, he was attempting to reconnect with his daughter as well as his other kids that he had, kind of neglected for a long time.
Right.
And so, she's got stuff going on now that is, like lights in the house flickering. They've got a Halloween tree, which I absolutely love, and
I
I
love
wish.
Halloween trees. Yeah.
And we had planned on doing one this year, but we just couldn't get it together. But and her favorite color is purple. So she was in her kitchen one day and she was talking to her aunt about her dad, and they were talking about how their favorite color is purple, and the Halloween tree lights came on. Uh,
Hmm.
and they can only come on from a switch. Like there's no other, they're not smart lights or anything. They can only
Right.
come on from the flicking of a switch. And then they've had a few other things that have happened. So I really think, and this is the impression I got, I told my barber that I think that her dad is trying to reconnect with her to
Yeah.
because because he was tormented in life, being stuck in a body uh, that could not overcome the crippling disease of of abuse of substance abuse.
Right.
But now in release, he's got the clarity that he needs to be able to close doors that he left open. Um, and as far as the second piece around the psychics can release them, I have released spirits that have been trapped here. I do like a Kundalini type meditation, and I feel the energy come up through my body, up through my spine, and out the crown of my head. And when I do, I feel spirits release. I can interact with them like on dowsing rods and stuff. And when I release them, when they come back and communicate with me, the energy is completely different than what it was before. So, um, it's just really, timely that I was just talking to my
Yeah.
barber about all of this like 4 days ago. So,
Yeah. For real. That's interesting. That's really cool.
so
Yeah, I mean, and I think, you know, that a lot of, I feel like a confused soul mind has to be an intelligent spirit, or it wouldn't be confused,
wouldn't be confused, right? It's not
right?
an
I know
echo,
that's,
right?
yeah, it's not an echo. And I think, I think a lot of what that talked about definitely is how we get a lot of hauntings is these confused soul minds not knowing what's going on
Yeah.
or whatnot.
Not to spend too much time talking about the psychic word of the week, but we did an episode a few probably like 100 back or something about the the haunting or poltergeist that the group was able to create in
Yeah, the
caves.
Philip experiment.
Yeah, the Philip experiment. Well, one of the theories that I have is that that was a legitimate haunting, and it was just a confused soul that saw an opportunity to interact with people and try to get them to, give it attention and help it
Sure.
release and move on. And so, it took on the mantle, if you will, of being Philip in hopes that they would actually do something to help it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yep. So most ghosts, if you're out there, you just need a therapist. That's what
yeah,
what you need.
maybe that's your calling, Stefan. Maybe
To be a
maybe
ghost therapist.
that's basically what Whoopi Goldberg was doing in Ghost,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
it was not
Yep.
just for the living.
Yep. That's right.
So
All right. Well, let's get moving on. Let's head toward the shadow's edge and move to our main topic.
the main story.
All right, Josh. So, what are we taking a look at for spooky season this month?
Yeah. So I have for you 28 um cases of harbingers of or omens of kind of disastrous or whatever, however you want to interpret
Harbingers of Doom.
harbingers of doom. And I've got them like they're broken up across a couple of different categories, and yeah, we'll just talk through these 28 and talk about.
I know at least one already off the bat.
You do, but that's
I
not the
do.
first one we're going to
Oh,
cover.
I know. That's why I'm not mentioning it.
We're actually going to start with the Hopkinsville Goblins.
Oh, as harbingers, interesting. I'm
Yep.
in.
So Hopkinsville Goblins, if you're not familiar with the case, was in Hopkinsville, Kentucky in 1955.
Yep, it's where the
Um,
term "the little green men" come from.
that's right. The case was is that the family was basically terrorized in their house over, an evening into the night by these small green um, goblins, for lack of a better word, that were continually just messing with them, trying to I don't know. I feel like the story always goes that they were trying to get in the house, but I
Yeah,
feel like if they wanted in the house, they could have got
they'd
in
have
the
got
house.
in.
So
Yeah, I
I
agree.
think they were just messing with they were just messing with the people.
Well, it kind of reminds me of Hellier, which they reference the Hopkinsville
Yeah.
goblins for sure. That David, whatever his name was, um, that he had that little goblin or that little alien that kept messing with them outside their
Yep.
window, which is very reminiscent of the Hopkinsville goblins.
So, they were 3 to 4 foot tall. They had glowing eyes. They some of the accounts of the family, the men in the house would shoot their shotguns at them, and the bullets or the spray would just ricochet
Mm-hmm.
off of them, kind of making like a ting kind of noise whenever it
Yep.
did so. Um, yeah, I mean it's just it's an absolutely amazing case of whether you want to call it extraterrestrial or cryptid or humanoid or whatever. It's just an amazing case. And if you recall, one of the very earliest episodes we did was on the clawed beast of the Ohio,
Yep. Which
and I and I made
think
the
they're the one and the
connection,
same.
yep, that they actually occurred on the same day.
Yep.
So anyways, so the reason why this is a harbinger is um, it began what has been an ongoing situation of high strangeness from 1955 to present in the general area of Hopkinsville, Kelly, Kentucky. So that's why it's included in the list, is because it was like a kicking off point.
Okay, I see what you did there.
Yep, yep. It is not related to a specific event, like some of the other ones that we'll get to are.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess because it is because it is the jumping off point for a lot of high strangeness, it's included in the list.
And of course, I have to mention if you're interested in learning more, go back and find our
Yep.
Fearscape episode on the Hopkinsville Goblins.
Yep. And if you're watching this on YouTube, I'll actually add a link in the video right about here, and you can click and get into it that way as well.
Yep.
All right. So next up we have the I'm going to say this wrong. Hessdalen Lights.
Yeah, I think
19
you did pretty good since I have no idea what it's supposed to sound like. So yeah,
it's
you did pretty good.
it's at Hessdalen, but it's in Norway, so I'm probably pronouncing it way wrong. So the Hessdalen Lights in 1980s in Norway, um, they seem to occur. They're floating orbs of light that maneuver intelligently, kind of like plasma-like entities,
Mm-hmm.
and they seem to predict earthquakes.
Hmm.
Um, some kind of like, I guess, prosaic theories is that there's like a increase in static electricity because of the pending earthquake, and that causes ball lightning or atmospheric plasma.
Hmm.
But I don't know. It would seem like if that were the case, that everywhere that there is a pending earthquake would also experience the phenomena.
Right. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's there's actually apparently hundreds of photos and video out there available if you search the Hesdalen Norway lights. There's actually something called the Hesdalen Project that has a lot of research papers in it. It's all in Norwegian, so good luck with that.
Hey,
But
man, Google will translate if you're on Chrome.
yeah, I mean it works okay. It's enough for you to get the important parts, I think. So
Yep.
all right. Next up we have the Flatwoods Monster.
Yeah, I love the Flatwoods Monster. Another one of
Now,
my favorites.
this one is similar to the Hopkinsville Goblins in that it doesn't equate to one specific event. But the Flatwoods Monster, again, for anybody who's not aware, was kind of like a extraterrestrial humanoid, maybe robot type thing that um, appeared in Flatwoods, West Virginia in 1952. And it was very very weird. And like as far as everything that had been reported that was potentially extraterrestrial up until that point, this broke the mold.
Yeah.
It had like a metal like skirt, if you will, had like a big red hood, yellow glowing eyes, kind of like a spade type head at the top. It was about 10 foot tall, and it seemed to float instead of walk.
Right.
And the reason this is a harbinger is because everyone who encountered or came close to the Flatwoods Monster got sick.
Yeah. And we got to go to Braxton County and go to the Flatwoods
We do.
Museum and
That
all that stuff.
my TV is a Fire TV, and so I've got it linked to my Amazon photos, and those pictures come up all the time. Of they have like a big like an oversized chair
Yep.
of the Flatwoods Monster as the backing, and you can sit in it and get your picture taken. I've got one of Santosh sitting there eating an ice cream cone.
Yep.
But yeah, that was a great trip. And if
And of course,
anybody's,
we covered that on Fearscape as
yep,
well.
yep. I'll tell you, a lot of the things that are on the list we've covered on Fearscape.
Yep. Which is great.
Um, so Flatwoods, West Virginia. If you're in the area, like I would say that if you're anywhere like probably east of the Mississippi, in any way, shape, or form interests you, you should definitely take the time to go and spend a weekend and go to Flatwoods and go to Point Pleasant and all those
Mhm.
places that are
I
kind of
mean,
steeped in
just just for hillbilly hot dog alone.
yeah, exactly. Isn't there like a biscuit place too?
Oh, Biscuit World, man. That's all through West Virginia. So
Yeah.
good. Yep.
All right. Next up on the list, we have the uh, Westfall encounter. Oh, sorry, Westall encounter. This is in 1966 in Melbourne, Australia. Um, and 200 plus school children saw a hovering craft.
Oh, yeah.
A metallic craft descended near the school, and it actually caused a school-wide / community-wide panic in 1966.
Yep. That reminds me, I still haven't watched that documentary yet on that, the phenomenon. I need to get on that.
So there's all kinds of stuff in like the Australian TV archives, 7 news interviews. And like you said, there's a documentary that covers it too. It's one of, if not the largest kind of school based, as far as the number of students
Yeah.
that saw it.
It's very cool.
All right. Moving on down the list, we have the banshee
Ooh,
of
just
Irish
classic Banshee.
of Irish and Scottish tradition. Yep.
Not the X-Men. Okay, gotcha.
Nope, unfortunately not. But it is often described as a wailing female with long hair, sometimes combing or washing bloodied garments. And it is said to tell the imminent death of a family member. It is often heard by relatives before death.
Right. Which is
So
absolutely frightening.
no specific, case here, but just a lot of old Irish and
The
Scottish
Harbinger of
tradition.
Doom.
Yep. Yep.
Yep.
This is not on the list. This is just anecdotal information. I get deja vu a lot. In fact, my deja vu lately has gotten like intense. But When I get it, it's usually meaning something like I'm on the right track, or something that is coming up for me that's going to be good, or something I need to pay attention to because it's some important message for me, my path. When my wife gets it,
Hmm.
it always means someone's going to die.
Weird.
She all of her life she's gotten deja vu right before either a family member, or like she got it a couple of days before our cat died. Um,
Mm.
like it always, whenever she gets deja vu, it's 4, 5, 6 days before someone we know dies.
Weird. That's scary. That would cause me to have so much anxiety.
Well, yeah, it actually, I
Hmm.
mean, I think it affects her quite a bit because she's gotten deja vu sometimes like a day or two before she's traveling for work.
Hmm.
So that adds to the anxiety of like, traveling and everything. So, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we have La Llorona. I don't think, did we cover this
Ooh,
at
I
all
love
in
La
Fierce
La
Game?
La. I think we might have as part of something else because
Yeah, I don't think we
I
gave it a
definitely know La
dedicated
La La.
episode, but yeah. So again, kind of like the Banshee,
Yeah.
weeping female apparition, often near water, typically associated with like Latin American cultures, pre-colonial, but also to present. Wasn't there like no, that was like the near my house when I lived in Kentucky before we moved. There was a bridge that went over a creek, and you told me about some
Yeah.
wailing.
Crybaby Bridge.
Yeah, but I mean that's
Yeah.
similar to La Llorona.
Yeah. Yeah. That's Crybaby Bridge on Sleepy Hollow Drive or Road or whatever.
Yeah. So it's often, she is seen before drownings or floods,
Yeah.
um, and usually involves drownings, child deaths, or local tragedies.
Yeah. She
And
is definitely a spooky one.
yeah, and there have been a number of different movies made featuring her, and they're all pretty creepy. So
Yep. The one that's part of the Conjuring universe is the last one I think that I watched.
yeah.
So,
Um, Next up we have the Blackout Children. We did do an episode on this. I remember doing that.
definitely covered Black Eyed Children. Whew. They still creep me out, dude.
Although, I haven't heard a lot of more recent, like I haven't heard a recent encounter or interaction that's at least been shared online.
Yeah,
I might have to hit up Reddit and search Blackout Children and see if there's people
I
out there
know.
that are still encountering them. By the way, Reddit is by far the best source of just weird crap that's happening. Like, because I mean,
Yep,
it's almost like what Facebook used to be. Um, you just got to be careful because sometimes you find yourself in a subreddit that is fiction, and so what is being written
yep,
is intended to be fiction. So,
yep.
but
There's
anyways,
even a in sorry, I just looked up. There's a Reddit under the paranormal r/paranormal that says what happened to black eyed kids.
hmm. So I'm not the only one that noticed that they're missing.
Yep.
Uh, maybe they're hibernating.
Yeah, because he says, I noticed that ever since doorbell cameras became a thing, I haven't heard anyone have any encounters with black eyed kids.
Hmm.
Are they
Very
cautious about getting
interesting.
recorded? Yeah, very interesting.
Well, I wonder if blackout children are just a more physical manifestation of Hat Man.
Maybe.
And so Hat Man is still a thing. So,
Yeah.
which Hat Man is not on the list, but because I don't think it's any related to Harbingers or Omens, but that's an
Yeah.
interesting one too. I don't know if I
Yep.
can't remember if we covered Hat Man or not, but
I know we've talked about Hatman, but I
yeah,
don't
but
know
I don't
that
think we
we.
covered it as like a topic.
I mean, we might have. Who knows? Not as a
Who
full
knows? It's
topic, anyways.
like 200 episodes, y'all. I mean, just
Yeah, I went back and saw. Yeah, we hit over 200 episodes a couple episodes ago, if you count all
so
of Fearscape.
yeah. So we've been going now for a total of
Long
about
time.
5.5 years.
Yep. Long
So
time. Long time.
long time. Yep. So, anyways, back to the Black Eyed Kids.
Mhm.
Not the Black Eyed Peas, in case you're wondering.
Nope.
So the black-eyed children are generally kind of pale. They speak in a monotone kind of voice. But what sets them apart is that their entire eye area, including, what is the white of the eye, is just completely solid black. Um, and generally, they kind of first popped up or appeared in the culture, the lore in 1990s. Um, they would knock on doors asking to enter, and then if you let them in, we actually had accounts of people like had a flat tire and they'd be changing their tire, and um,
Hmm.
they would just look up and there would be these. There's like they're always in pairs too, and there's one that talks and
Yeah.
one that doesn't. But yeah, if you
Yep.
interact with them in any way, bad luck tends to follow. And so, the harbinger piece is that personal misfortune or illness follows with interacting with them. So well, if you see black-eyed kids, if they make
Mhm.
their if they do their comeback tour, and you happen to encounter one, just just don't talk to them.
Yeah. Get out.
Get out of the wherever you are.
Yeah. GTFO.
All right, next up on the list we have the pale crawler.
Ooh, I like that.
An emaciated gray humanoid moving on all fours. Came to be around the 2000s to present, mostly in like the Appalachia, Midwest area. Hunters, campers report sightings before deaths or missing persons.
Mm, interesting. Oh, they're creepy. Looking at artist renderings on it.
Yeah, it's like they're like, well, I mean, the description is very good. Emaciated humanoid moving on all fours. I mean, it is. I mean, I've seen some of the
Yeah.
creepypasta stuff on Reddit. It's pretty scary looking. I'm surprised they haven't done
Yeah.
a movie about that yet.
Right.
I mean, not a documentary. I mean, like full horror movie.
Let me see here. There kind of is. There's a British horror movie called Extra, uh, from 1982, that said to possibly be a pale crawler or skinwalker. So that's possible because it features a pale, contorted humanoid creature standing on the side of the road.
Yeah. Okay.
So
All right. Next on the list, I know we've done it. I know we talked about this one. It was one of our best episodes back in the day. But Slender Man, Tall Man.
yeah, good old Slender Man.
So this came around in 2009 to present. It's pretty much an online thing. And the original kind of story or case was, two girls that uh, attempted to kill another girl because they said Slender Man told them to do it.
Right.
But it is also considered a modern tulpa. So the fact that they attempted to take that action, kind of invoking his name and visage,
Yeah.
brought him into being.
Yeah, the OG creepy pasta.
Yep. Pause. All right. So yeah, just the Omen Harbinger piece is that it typically is associated with suicides and child disappearances.
Yeah.
But the I think there was like a movie that was created as well, typically described as a faceless, tall figure in a suit with elongated limbs.
Yep. Super creepy.
Yeah. maybe a cousin of the pale crawler. I don't know.
Right.
On his mother's side.
Right.
Next up we have the Thunderbird, not the car. Um, this is a mythic being, a giant bird with thunderous wings. This actually comes from mainly from North America and also pre-Columbian. To present is more of a Native American type
Right.
being as well. Although there have been supposed sightings of non-Native American individuals of the Thunderbird, and it is typically it appears when there's a storm or changes in weather, um, and it predicts, or rather is an omen for natural disasters or upheaval.
Right. Yep. Good old Thunderbird.
There's a
I like it.
there's like an internet picture of supposedly someone who like captured
Caught
one
one
or
or
something.
whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
but
that's been debunked a long time ago.
yeah.
It's a good picture
Um,
though.
yeah, it is. It's a fantastic picture. I mean, it's you know
Yep.
before AI too. I mean, it's somebody somebody put a lot of work into that.
Right.
Um, all right, we've got the Van Meter Visitor. This is
Mm.
1903 in Van Meter, Iowa. It was a bat-like humanoid with a glowing horn.
Mm.
It caused local panic, and it actually caused the mine to close that was in the area.
Oh, the
Uh,
mind. I thought you said the mind at first,
no,
but I'm like, no, the
no,
mind.
the mine. Um, and like multiple townspeople saw it. It left tracks, and basically just general kind of mass hysteria within that local community.
Yeah. Interesting. So it's like a bat-like creature.
Yeah, bat-like, not Batman.
Right. Not like
But, but the next one on the list is the Houston Batman. A human-sized Batman figure with leathery wings. 1953, Houston, Texas. 3 to 4 witness reports. There was a series of suicides and tragedies.
Mm.
The kind of
Yeah,
general
so
go
six
ahead.
and a half feet tall. So that's, basically as tall as me.
Yeah, maybe it was you.
Maybe.
There's some local newspaper clippings out there if you can find them in Houston, Texas. A lot of the consensus is that it was probably either a giant bird or a prank.
Hmm.
But you never know.
Never
You
know.
never know.
And what was it a harbinger of?
There was a series of suicides and tragedies in the area near the time that it was sighted.
Hmm.
But I mean, and I'm not trying to be insensitive to suicides, but it seems like there are suicides happening or that could happen, at any time, any day,
Yeah.
anywhere. So, just the fact that there were suicides in close time relationship to this thing occurring, I don't know if that's strong enough to call it a harbinger, but
I don't know. Yeah, unless it's another type of convergence enigma,
it could be.
something to add to the list.
Add to the
The
list.
suicides.
I got to take just a quick moment and say, Kristen has been slowly coming around to all of the stuff that we talk about and have talked about for a long time.
Yeah.
Um, After, like I said, she came to my presentation on Saturday, and after she was done, someone approached her and said, You two should present together next time." Um, and then when I got home, she said, "I need access to your data. I need to help you figure this out. So like some random person, is the one who is able to get her to want to be involved now. But I don't care.
Right.
As long as she wants to be involved, that's all I care about.
Yeah.
All right. Next on the list, we have the Owlman of Maulnan.
Ow man a morning. Mom and
This
a
is
mom and a meow.
this is 1976 to present in Cornwall, England. Um, it is an owl-headed creature near a church tower. It has been seen by children, couples. It often is talked about as having glowing eyes. Very similar, I would say, to Mothman. We'll get to Mothman in a little bit, but uh, just a little teaser. But very similar to kind of the description of Mothman. If you actually
Hmm.
as Stefan, if you read the books, the description of Mothman is not that of a moth, but more like a bird. And
Right.
so, yeah, maybe these two are somehow related.
Yeah, that just happened to be, well, because of the media, but yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, but it is a harbinger for drownings and local tragedies.
Mm.
Which, if you think again about Mothman, I'm just going to jump to Mothman now. We'll jump to Mothman and then we'll come back to Owlman. So, Mothman of Point Pleasant uh, was
Everybody's favorite.
everybody's favorite. 6 to 7 foot tall, humanoid with a 10-foot wingspan and glowing red eyes, silent flight. Some accounts report glowing skin as well. And it showed up before the Silver Bridge collapse,
Right.
which occurred December 15th, 1967.
There's even, isn't there, didn't they say people said they saw it on the bridge right before it collapsed as
Yeah,
well?
yeah. People say they saw it like perched on the top of the bridge
Right.
right before it collapsed. So now that I've talked about Mothman, I can go back to the Owlman and say if the Owlman is a harbinger for drownings, maybe the Mothman is a harbinger for drownings too. It just happened to be caused by the Silver Bridge collapse.
Maybe. Yeah. And what if they are one and the same?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Especially with now all the Mothman sightings in the Great Lakes region and around the world and things like that.
Yep. Yep. Really makes you wonder
Yeah.
if you step like I haven't had a chance to talk to was it Lon Strickler that does the Phantoms and Monsters?
Yep.
But he's a big Mothman guy, and he's done a lot of investigation into the Chicago Mothman. But it really makes me
Right.
wonder if he's actually considered taking the book or the original witnesses description of Mothman and using that to cross-reference other large bird type sightings instead of looking at
Right.
it from strictly Mothman.
Yeah. It'd be a good question to ask him next time we talk to him.
Yep. Anyways, so we've talked about Owlman. We've now talked about Mothman. This one I find incredibly interesting because of a related abduction case that we're not going to, well, I
Hmm.
might touch on it. So we've got the Pascagoula River Ghost Lights.
Yep.
This earliest representation of this is from the 1800s to present. River travelers and sailors report sightings of glowing orbs moving over the river, and it is typically associated with hurricanes and shipwrecks. And so, anyone who's not familiar, this is also interesting because the Pascagoula abduction case for the same name
Yep.
involved two men who were fishing at the mouth of where the river connects to the Gulf of Mexico, and they had an abduction experience.
All right. My apologies, Josh. I got kicked out. So if you could start over talking about, I think we were just talking about the fishermen uh, and the Pascagoula experience.
Yep. So yeah, the Pascagoula abduction experience, which was two men that were fishing at the mouth of where the river intersects with the Gulf of Mexico,
Hmm.
and I think they saw lights kind of out over the Gulf. They approached them, and then they had, they were contacted by just some really odd and strange beings that had like claw hands and like
Yeah.
protuberances from the side of their heads, and yeah, it was just really like crab people or something. It's just really, yeah, but still, so it's interesting. I think the Pascagoula River ghost lights probably gets passed over by a lot of UFO investigators they don't because of the name. They don't include it. But
Yeah.
in all actuality, it may be a similar aspect of the same phenomena occurring in the same area, and adds a lot of, I think, history and prominence to that the Pascagoula area may be significant in some way.
Well, the Pascagoula incident was part of a huge UFO flap in Louisiana and Mississippi in
Yep.
1973. So that was already something big going on. And maybe the lights that they saw were what say they saw in terms of the Pascagoula River lights. So,
And back to our my statement, and towards the front where I was talking about ley lines and stuff. Pascagoula sits like almost directly on a ley line.
hmm, interesting.
So, yep, we're just finding these connections left and right, man.
Yep,
I'm
that's what we
telling
do.
you, I'm telling you, that people need to catch on and
Yep.
stop investigating just one thing. You're
Yeah.
missing you're missing all the other stuff that is important to see.
Yep.
Anyways, this next one is, I know I'm gonna butcher this, the Horror Verde Village disappearance. It's Hoer. I mean, Hauer, I don't know. It's
Sure.
here. It's in Brazil, so more than likely it's not pronounced the way I'm pronouncing it.
Right.
Um, but in 1923, um, there were no eyewitnesses to this, but an entire village vanished.
Yeah.
And just a chalkboard message that said there is no salvation.
Man, that's creepy. That's a lot better than Croatoan.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's an interesting one too.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, that it's like a whole, was a whole town abducted? Did they just all pack up and leave? Like it
Yeah.
just that
Yeah, it
just
says it was about 600 people, man.
yeah.
Half eaten meals on the tables, personal belongings untouched. Um,
It's
just
like they
all
were
kinds of
raptured.
crazy stuff.
It's like they were raptured.
Yeah. No, it can't be because they said there is no salvation.
Yeah. But yeah, very, I mean, very just bizarre.
Hmm.
Um, all right. Next up on the list, we have the Crying Boy paintings.
Mm.
So, a 1980s, the UK painting of a crying child survives a fire. But then every home it goes into ultimately catches fire.
Oh, that's messed up.
It's a cursed object associated with house fires. Um, and firefighters report uncanny survivals.
Mm, that's creepy. So do not buy
Yeah.
this
Well,
painting or a replica.
what's really funny? We were at a like a what do you call it? Thrift, not thrift store, antique store in Cottonwood, Arizona. And Kristen came across this really awesome, like mother of pearl art piece that was looked like it was really old, and she wanted to get it because her grandmother always had one like it.
Mhm.
So we got it, and as soon as we got it home, I like Reiki'd it, and I put some sage all around it. So I was like, I want to get rid of anything that might be attached to this thing. And I bet majority of people who buy things at antique stores don't even think to do that. And they bring it home, weird stuff starts happening in the house, and they don't know why.
Mhm. Yep. Creepy.
All right, next up here we have the Anku.
Bless you.
Thank you. It reminds me of the men in tights, you know.
Achoo.
God bless you. So this is in Brittany, France, in kind of the old world, so to speak. It is a spirit. It often appears before deaths, and it is a skeletal cart driver that collects souls.
Mm.
It comes when it comes kind of barreling along, it has creaking cart sounds, and is associated with deaths and plagues.
How do you spell Anku?
Ankou.
I'm gonna look that up myself. That's interesting. Anku.
It says it's a part of the Breton folklore.
Oh, so okay. I see that is a servant of death in Breton, Cornish, and Welsh. Very cool. Oh, okay. So he even wields a scythe and all that, blah blah blah. So very much
Very,
very death.
death type. Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, listen to this. According to one legend, he was the first child of Adam and Eve.
Ah,
Hmm.
interesting.
Yep. And so he
Um,
was very interesting.
I heard it, not to get too far off topic here, but I heard an interesting theory that that, and I hope we don't, if I don't offend anybody here, but the god of the Bible is Loki.
Is Loki? I think I've heard that theory before.
Yeah. Something about Loki used to get the fruit of Eden, Idden or something like that, kept the Norse gods alive. And one time she withheld her fruit and they all started to wither and fade away. And so that's equated to, potentially the fruit of Eden, Garden of Eden. So it's just looking at all the similarities between all these different religions of the old is really interesting.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
It's been said that Zachariah Stitchin apparently admitted to making a lot of his detail up. I don't know. I haven't been able to find specific cases where that's been stated, but I've heard it from other people. But even if he did, there's still something about a lot of these religions of the world that seem to have similarities enough to support potentially a much older religion narrative, origin narrative that came first.
Yeah.
So, anyways, moving on, we have the fetch doppelganger. Um, and it comes from Norse and Germanic Europe. It is the spirit double of the person who's alive, and it is seen before death. Does that you follow what I said?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and then it is the, kind of projection, if you will. Maybe it's an astral travel, maybe.
Yeah. I
Um,
feel like there's movies about this too where you see yourself before you die, like as an omen,
yeah.
like your doppelganger. That's I think that's an old lore too, is if you see your doppelganger, you're going to die.
But it is also it said that people report seeing their double right before they die, and it is, potentially a psychological symbol or astral projection. I mean, it would make sense to be potentially an astral projection. That would probably be a great conversation for Astral Stew if it ever gets finds its way out of the kitchen again.
Yeah, like because this even says here, doppelganger is often portrayed as a paranormal phenomenon, usually seen as a harbinger of bad luck.
Yep.
Oh, yeah,
I,
for
I,
sure.
I saw a doppelganger of my sister, but it she didn't see it, so I don't think it means anything bad for her.
Yeah. I've seen a doppelganger of myself, not in person, but Weekly World News. There was this everybody. I came into class in college, and everybody was cracking up laughing, and they're all around looking at something. And I come in, and they start laughing even harder. And they're like, "Stefan, you're in Weekly World News." And there was this fat dude that looked exactly like me. I mean, even I had to admit it looked exactly like me. And it says, "Man, something about man and his harem, and he's got all these beautiful women around him on this large bed, and it's this white dude that looked exactly like me, but surrounded by all these beautiful women, and they were cracking up. It was in Weekly World News.
You're gonna have to find that picture now.
I know. I wish I could. I've looked. I don't even know where to look. You know.
Um, you also, I think, were in that movie, uh, Roger Rabbit. You were the guy trying to kill all the cartoons.
I'm not the judge.
You're the cartoon version of the judge. You look just like the cartoon version of the judge.
I'm the one that killed your brother.
All right, we've got six left.
All right.
So we've got Phantom Funerals, kind of in similar tone to the doppelganger above. This comes from Wales, Appalachia, and Scandinavia, and it is a ghostly funeral procession seen before a real one.
That's an old thing I haven't thought about in a long time. Yeah, the
Writ,
old procession.
yep, written. Residents witness silent processions at night.
Hmm.
Usually, like I said, the approaching death of someone in the community.
Interesting.
The next up is the Black Shuck slash Barghest. Not, it's Barghest. This is from England, especially in the Norfolk and Yorkshire area. It's a large dog with glowing eyes. Sometimes it leaves burns on things.
Yeah.
Sightings before death, also linked to lightning. But yeah, death, disaster, and storms are associated. It's kind of a spectral black dog, if you will.
Yeah.
Almost like the Hounds of Baskerville. All right. Next up, we have the Death Bird slash Owl Harbinger. This is a Native American tribe, specifically the Cherokee, Lakota, and Hopi. Tribal shamans report owl cries as warnings, an owl cry or shadow seen right before death, associated with death and sickness.
Okay.
A lot of owl stuff. Just in
Yeah.
general. Like,
Owls have always been harbingers.
yeah. Well, what's really interesting, I don't know if you've paid attention to any of the stuff from Chris. I can't think of his last name, but I'll have to look it up. He and I'll add subtext in the video. He has had a lot of UFO experiences, and they're all of his experiences, almost all of those experiences are involve owls showing up before the experience.
Yeah.
So, next up we have the Black Bird of Chernobyl.
Blackbird. Ooh, I've heard of this one.
Yep, in 1986 in Chernobyl, Ukraine, plant workers reported sightings weeks before the disaster. Victims later claimed to have received silent phone calls or nightmares involving the figure, and post event creature never seen again. It was described as a large, black, human like creature with a 10 to 15-foot wingspan, glowing red eyes, sometimes described as headless,
Hmm.
with eyes and chest region. This is exactly almost the description of Mothman, Birdman, whatever,
Right.
in West Virginia.
Yep. Again, are they correlated?
Yep. And for those that don't know, Chernobyl was a significant nuclear disaster, April 26, 1986.
Yep.
Basically, the plant had a meltdown, and most of the area is basically uninhabitable
To this
for the
day.
next like 1,000 years or something.
Yeah.
So it is one of the nuclear disasters that really I think made any talk of nuclear energy scary for a lot of the population.
Yep. That and 3 Mile Island.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Next one is the Freeburg Shrieker.
The Freebird
Uh,
Streaker.
Yep, Freebird Shrieker. Uh, in 1978, Freiburg, Germany, miners claimed to see and hear shrieks. They fled, saving their lives from a mine collapse.
Mm,
Again, a bat-like humanoid emitting shrieks near a mine entrance.
interesting.
So again, kind of,
Yep.
you know, Mothman-y.
Yep.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, sure.
Or Jay Bird. I got three left. Okay. Cornstalk bird.
Another bird.
Yep. 2011. This is actually I think what is oftentimes also called the Chicago Mothman. So, airport security, truck drivers, and park visitors report sightings of a dark winged humanoid with glowing eyes. And close to when it was seen, there was various accidents and missing persons.
Mm,
So again, it seems similar, rather similar,
rather.
rather, Dan rather.
Dan rather.
Oh my goodness. All right. Two I got left are not necessarily harbingers, but I left them on the list because they're interesting nonetheless. Um, Phoenix Lights.
Okay.
Uh,
Hey, if the river lights can be, so can the Phoenix lights.
yeah.
Let's go.
So Phoenix Lights, for those that don't know, 1997, Phoenix, Arizona, thousands of people witnessed these lights move pretty much across the entire state of Arizona. They started up at the north part near almost like Henderson, Nevada area, moved down, through the southern, like from the north to the south of the state, and then ultimately kind of disappeared once they got past Tucson. Um, so the reason it's on the list is because of kind of just the social unrest that was caused after the event, just from the number of people who saw it. And I think a lot of that social unrest really was from a perspective of not knowing what it was and not being able to get clear answers from anybody on what it was. Um, but still, it's a kind of a psychological impact. And I mean, you and I know some people who had experiences, and I would say, and I think they would too, that they're changed from having the experience.
Right.
So.
Agreed.
And the last item on the list is the Men in Black.
Men in Black.
Not to be confused with the movie. The Men in Black originated in 1940s, and basically witnesses after UFO sightings or contact or experiences would often receive visits from these quote unquote men in black. The way they're described in a lot of John Keel's books are just incredible. Like they would ask for water, they would take weird pills, they would have weird colors to their skin. After they would drink some water, their skin would turn from like being bright red to being more like a pale color. Um, but there's just kind of robotic men. They wear suits. They drive
Hmm.
cars that don't have plates, or if they do have plates, and you try to track the plate, it doesn't go anywhere. It's not actually an issued plate. I don't know how they get an unissued plate.
Take water
Um,
pills.
yeah, like, um, but the reason it's on the list is because they're always associated with UFO events, and in some cases have been associated with investigator deaths.
Yeah. Yep. I totally agree with adding that one to the list.
All right. So that was 27 harbingers or omens for the month of October.
Nice. Even though I thought you said there were 28.
I was counting the header bar with my, I'm in
Oh.
Excel. So I was, sorry.
That's fine.
Sorry.
That's
I mean,
fine.
we can make one up real quick if you want.
Nope. 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 I don't I
I
don't want
tried to
that.
get 31, one for every day.
Yeah.
But you know, it was a stretch towards the end.
No. Well, I appreciate all your work on that. That was a lot of fun, a lot of cool, a lot of man, that gives a lot of people a lot of stuff to look up.
Yeah.
So,
A lot
and a
of
couple of
lot of
those you can listen to our old episodes on. So,
a lot of birdmen.
a lot of Birdmen.
Yep. I mean, some that's waiting for somebody. That's waiting for
Mhm.
somebody to look at every single
Birdman.
possible birdman. Like don't go off of the name. Just go off of the description involving like wings or any type of bird
Yeah.
like
Or the hell does that bring in angel sightings?
potentially. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Because
know
they're
what's all
usually seen with wings.
yeah, what is always interesting to me about the description of Mothman in the original account is that he didn't, it didn't flap its wings to take off.
Yeah.
It just it just went up.
Yeah.
Like which is also very, biblically angelic related as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe the true winged angels of our cultural past are birdmen.
Maybe. That's really interesting. Indeed.
So that is the month of October, the spooky episode. Hopefully, like you said, it gives a lot of people stuff to go look up and investigate,
Mhm.
learn more about. If you would like us to do, because some of the items that are on this list could easily be a full episode. We could dive deep into the story and the experience and the encounter. And so, if you would like us to do that for any of the items on the list, drop a comment below and let us know. Or
Yeah.
if you think we missed one, let us know.
Yeah, definitely. If you know of any other harbingers, please let us know. I'm anxious to hear more. So that sounds good, man. Again, appreciate your research on that. I appreciate everybody tuning in and listening. And if you're ready, we can rock and roll and get out of here, man, and
Yep.
give everybody a good spooky Halloween. So thank you all so much for tuning into the Shadow Signal podcast. I have been Stefan with a reminder to stay in the shadows and look for the signal.
And this has been Josh. The truth is now. I feel like I need a new tagline, but I don't have one yet. So the truth is now.
The truth is now. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll catch you on the flip side.
Later.